Hey, Antonio, I guess I'll start. Have to ask, get it out of the way. You had talked about your toe a little bit during minicamp. How's that feeling now, and how are you feeling on the field?
It's been good. Just making sure I stay on top of it, treating it after practice. After the long days, it get kind of sore. But other than that, I'm fine out there. It's getting better, so I feel fine.
And Ron talked about your development as a running back and as a receiver. As you progress, you can kind of maybe get in those different packages and maybe more third down. I guess what are some of those specific little things that you're working on to make sure that you can get there?
Just focusing on the details. It's not much doing it. Like I said, like y'all know, I play receiver in college, high school, JUCO, and so it's just a matter of details, knowing situation, and getting better at those things. Other than that, just working on that right there.
Hey, Antonio, what are some things that you would say that you've noticed where Ron was saying that you had a little bit of your turf toe hampering you in OTAs? Where would you say that you don't feel that as much in training camp? He says that you really haven't been limited too much in that
Where I
regard.
don't feel it as much?
He said that you aren't feeling as much of the lingering effects of your turf toe. In OTAs, it was a little bit more present, but here in training camp, you've looked very good. Where would you say that you've noticed the biggest difference in that regard?
I would just say being out there making the cuts. That's where it would hurt the worst. Last year, making my cuts this year fine. Jump cuts. If I need to get far backside, I'm making those cuts. So that's why I kind of noticed the difference. And like I said, after practice, make sure I stay on top of it. So tomorrow, the next day, I'm fine.
And then regarding becoming a little bit more of a pass catcher or a little bit more of an impact in the pass catching game, where do you feel like you can take the next level in that regard with this team? I know you had about the same amount of catches last season as you did your final season at Memphis, but not the same amount of yards or touchdowns. How do you feel like you can get back to that same total?
Just stepping up and being accountable. Having the coaches trusting me, doing my part. Like I said, knowing situations and being able to be counted on. I feel like that's where it comes in at. Just make the play when it's there.
Hey, Antonio, going back to the toe, not to harp on it, but I am curious, like you guys, it's a big part of your game. So did you have to test it out even out here in training camp early on to see, like, is it okay, or did you have to do anything like that? Were you okay with it?
I've been fine for a while. Came out here in OTAs. I got through that, and I'm fine out here. I'm running well, so, I'm good.
And then going to receiver, obviously you played it in college, but there's going to be a little bit different playing it as a running back in the NFL. So what are some of the little things that maybe you've had to learn to improve in that role to get a bigger role here?
At receiver, right? That's what you're talking about? As a receiver. I would say in college, I was, like you said, receiver going to running back. So it was certain plays that I had to get. Now it's opposite. It's certain receiver plays that I get. And just keying in on those, making sure I understand everything about those routes, and doing it to the best of my ability. So, like I said, situation and details of those routes, and, make sure I'm there where I need to be so the quarterback can find me.
Do you study differently when looking at receiver plays? Are you using a different part of your brain almost, or does it feel more natural? How does it go from, all right, I'm studying running back versus passing plays?
I would say route running is kind of pretty easy to kind of learn. It's different when you get out here. You got DBs in front of you, safeties, linebackers, so you kind of adjust to that. But running back, I still have a lot to learn. So I feel like running back is still, I'm taking my time with that. I get more into that than I do wide receiver. So yeah, definitely, it's way. I feel like I got wide receiver a little more down packed than running back right now.
And now that you are more expanded as a receiver now, does it feel better? Are you having more fun? How do you kind of
definitely. I'm enjoying running back. I'm loving the process. It's kind of like learning something new all over again. Like last year, I was playing a lot last year, and just learning as I go. And I'm still noticing that I have a lot to learn. So I'm definitely enjoying it.
What, are there guys around the league you look at when you're kind of embracing being able to do a little bit of everything? Are there guys whose either film you see or you enjoy highlights of, and kind of how does that go into your learning process of trying to round out everything you can do?
I don't really look at too much of other guys now. I got one of the best route runners out of the backfield, on the team right now, J.D. McKissick. So I love watching his tape and seeing how he reroutes people and how he gets, control of people. So he does a good job with his routes and even running the ball. We got a lot of good runners. Payne's another one. So I got a lot of people I can look at, out there in practice. So I don't go too much looking for other players.
You just mentioned, you have a lot to learn. What particular parts of your game are you still kind of fine-tuning and trying to work on, especially during training camp right now?
I've been saying it a lot recently, but situation, that's big right now for me. knowing the down and distance, knowing if we're in the red zone, knowing if it's third and long, knowing if if I need to get north and south or if I can make a play happen. Just things like that, the small things, that'll help the game out and help my teammates out. So things of that nature right there.
Kind of going to that, Ron was telling us earlier about, still, the balance of pressing the hole versus cutting it back and
Yep.
making those plays happen. Like, you obviously want to be explosive. How do you balance those two impulses? You know what I mean?
I'm learning that. I'm actually, it's kind of frustrating, but like I said, that goes with situation. Knowing when you need those 2 or 3 yards, just get north. And sometimes when you can make a play happen, make a play happen. So it get frustrating sometimes, but I definitely sometimes they get to me. But other than that, like I said, third and short, you want to get down. If it's long, big time play, you feel like you can make it happen, make it happen.
So you're saying that situational awareness is like that next thing.
Exactly.
Of that
Yep.
balance.
Along with that, because sometimes when you're pressing the hole, you're talking about maybe a couple inches difference as to when you should cut and when you should press. So how do you take that film to the field? You're doing it the way you need to.
I wouldn't say in film, you watch and correct yourself, but I wouldn't say you kind of like bag on it like you don't feel like, oh, I remember I was watching film. You can't do that. That'll mess up everything. It's kind of instinct. Trust your eyes, trust your feet. It kind of just happened with instincts, and just trust yourself. We out here for a reason. We all got the ability to do it. So when you get there, trust what you're thinking and go with it.
How small is that difference? When to cut and when to just
It's super small. It happens so quick. So you get to the line, you see what you see. See small, see a lot. So it's pretty quick.
For this season, you had 11 touchdowns last year. You almost had 800 yards. What is the next goal for you in terms of, I don't know, numbers or stats, anything like that? But what would you say is what would make you happy by the end?
Improve. I'll reach what I did last year. I'm not going to harp on numbers, but as long as I'm improving, the coach can see it and I'm helping out my teammates, I'm fine with that.
And then how do you feel like I know you started to heat up a lot towards the end of last season. How do you feel like you can start off hot this season as opposed to towards the end?
I'm just taking everything that I learned last year. Like you said, as the season went on, I feel like I progressed, and I'm just taking that on to this season instead of starting from the bottom, start where I left off, and keep building from there.